Vital football matches are starting to come to a conclusion. The video printer will tell us exactly who's won, who's drawn and who's lost today. And in the FA Carling Premiership, straight away we can see that Arsenal looks like they're going to win their must-win game over league leaders Leeds United at Elland Road. Frederick Lindbergh and Thierry Henry, the scorers there. That's a later score, of course, all still latest in the FA Carling Premiership. So time for late equalisers or late winners. Going down the board, Bradford 0, Everton 0. Leicester 1, Newcastle 2. That's Ferguson and Shearer goals today. Liverpool 3, Wimbledon 1. That's Owen, Berger and Robbie Fowler on as a substitute has scored a goal. Liverpool 3, Wimbledon 1. Sunderland against Manchester United, the big game this evening. Watford 3, Southampton 2. That's a cracker at Vicarage Road. Full details coming up a little bit later. And it's West Ham 1, Derby County 1. Now let's go to Arsenal now, because that is now a result. Fourth in the table this morning, 8 points off the lead. That was a must-win game for Arsene Wenger's team today. David O'Leary's Leeds United top by 2. They'd won their last 5. Well, that opens up the title race once again. Manchester United will go top of the table if they can win at Sunderland this evening. Leeds youngsters battled away, but Arsenal, well, they had to win today, really, just to keep their chances of taking the Premiership title intact. Kanu played his part today. David Seaman is delighted and will be able to get a full-time report very shortly indeed. That sets it up perfectly, doesn't it? Because you look at tonight, Sunderland against Manchester United. Arsenal will keep their eye on that. But let's get the story of this game now by joining Barry Davis.
Well, a comprehensive victory for Arsenal. They thoroughly deserved it. The Leeds youngsters on the day were very much put into their place. The youngsters in the team, they were a little bit niggly, to tell the truth. Alan Smith started it and one or two others got involved with it as well, which was a shame. And although the first goal was a little bit of a gift in that Nigel Martin failed to hold Kanu's shot, Ljungberg scoring, Arsenal were the better side for all but the first 3 or 4 minutes of the match. Thierry Henry scored the second goal in the 59th minute, a marvellous pass by Kanu that played him in. And there were moments of party pieces from both the Nigerian and Thierry Henry, the Frenchman, and indeed Vieira and Petit back in the Arsenal side as a partnership again, so effective. Arsenal much the better team on the day, and don't believe Arsene Wenger when he tells you the next time they lose a match and they're out of the Championship, they'll be there right to the end of the season. One would like to think that Leeds will have learned something from this contest, even though they've lost it comprehensively.
Other scores going through on the video printer. Important scores too in the Premier League. West Ham 1, Derby County 1. It's an absolute cracker of Vicarage Road though. Watford against Southampton. How did it finish? Harry Grayson.
Oh, I am breathless, Ray. To be a Watford fan, you need resilience and eternal optimism. Saints fans know all about these qualities. This was a superb match. 2 first-half goals for Watford from David Perpetuini and David Gravelaine were rare goals for the Hornets. The second was a real gem, I have to say. In the second half, though, Watford's generous defence let Saints in twice in 90 seconds on the hour. Bowen Mortier rattled in Davis's cross, and then Davis himself got Saints the equaliser. But Gravelaine restored Watford's lead on 67 minutes with an 18-yard shot. The Saints' defence clearly leakier than Watford's. Towards the end, Hyde cleared off the line as Saints pressed forward. They were searching desperately for that equaliser. But the year ends with a Watford win. Their first, can you believe this, Ray, since September. Great game this, I enjoyed it.
Harry enjoyed other scores going through. You can see that it's Bradford 0, Everton 0, Rochdale 2, Shrewsbury 1. That's a good win for Ipswich in Division 1. Chester 1, Orient 5. Chester will be bottom of the table. Wigan 2, Gillingham 0. Wigan top of Division 2. Let's go to Anfield now. Liverpool against Wimbledon. Steve May.
And Liverpool should have won this by many more. They technically and creatively had far the superior players, but particularly in the first half, they failed to turn their overwhelming possession into genuine pressure. Not easy, I suppose, when it looked at times that Wimbledon were playing in a 9-0-1 formation. Michael Owen scored his 8th goal of the season from Murphy's in-swinging corner on the hour. Minutes later, Marcus Gale had headed an equaliser, much to even Wimbledon's astonishment, but it was Patrick Berger's direct free kick from 22 yards and Robbie Fowler's looping header that meant that skill was rewarded in the end. This was Liverpool's 9th win in 12 matches, and whilst all the Championship talk is of Manchester United and Arsenal and Leeds, don't rule out this Liverpool side making it pretty uncomfortable for them.
Now, scores still going through. And we can tell you, let's get the details now of that Premier League game. Bradford against Everton. Mark Pugach with all the news here.
An open and attractive game, but ultimately fruitless in terms of goals. Everton, though, could have won it deep into stoppage time when a header down from Barmby found David Weir, who volleyed over. That man, though, Lee Mills, with Bradford's best chances in the second half. A couple of headers, one well saved by Gerrard, one wide. Francis Jeffers having Everton's best chances, particularly in the first half, when they seemed more likely to score. He was denied, though, by Matt Clark, the ever-alert Bradford goalkeeper. Joe Maxmore, the American making his first Premiership start, was also denied by the man between the Bradford posts. It's 9 points from their last 5 home games, and Everton's improvement continues as well. 0-0 at Valley Parade.
Now, Fulham are making any impression trying to close the gap up to the playoff place in Division 1. They've lost today at Sheffield United, 2-0, and that means now that they keep drawing, they can't even win today. That's bad news for Fulham. Now, let's go back to the FA Carling Premiership, Upton Park, West Ham against Derby. John Motson.
A most enjoyable game, and one which really did demand a hero. In the first half, it looked as though it might be Paolo Di Canio, who scored a terrific goal on 20 minutes to cancel out Derby's early lead, gained for them by Dean Sturridge. But the real hero today was the Derby goalkeeper, the Estonian international Mart Porm, who made 3 of the best saves in one match that I've seen this season. 2 from Lampard and 1 from Di Canio himself. They were quite beyond the call of duty, and really that summed up Derby's day, because they were deprived of so many players by injury and flu that Jim Smith was down to the bare bones. But my goodness, how hard they fought to gain an important point in their somewhat desperate position, which today, of course, started off in the bottom 3. West Ham had more of the game, that's true, but Derby defended heroically, and Porm, as I say, was inspired. Certainly there were moments in the game when West Ham could have won it, and as I said also, Di Canio did turn on the style. But in the end, although it's 2 home points dropped for West Ham, it's a vital away point for the beleaguered Derby County.
At the top of your screen, you can just see that Preston have beaten Bristol Rovers in Division 2. So that's third beating second. The goals there for Preston, Graham Alexander and Jonathan Makin. And Blackburn keep going under Tony Parks. Portsmouth 1, Blackburn 2, Blackburn climbing towards the playoffs. Back to the Premiership, Leicester against Newcastle. Tony Gubber.
Newcastle will continue their climb to safety, courtesy of their deadly duo, Duncan Ferguson and Alan Shearer, scoring a goal apiece for the second match in succession. Newcastle always looked comfortable in this game until the last 7 minutes, when Zagorakis scored from a free kick for Leicester City, and then the home side began to pile on the pressure. But the truth was that Newcastle were always the better. Leicester's cause not helped. 7 first-team players out injured. They lost Izzard, also injured in the first half. Solano was a threat for Newcastle wide right, and Rob Lee in midfield was absolutely outstanding. But Newcastle take the 3 points and look good.
All the scores just about in. Let's get a classified check with Tim Gudgin.
OK, Ray. Starting with the Carling Premiership. Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0. Bradford City 0, Everton 0. Leicester City 1, Newcastle United 2. Liverpool 3, Wimbledon 1. Sunderland against Manchester United, that's an evening kick-off. Watford 3, Southampton 2. West Ham United 1, Derby County 1. The Nationwide Football League Division 1, Barnsley 3, Port Vale 1. Bolton Wanderers 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Crystal Palace 3, Walsall 2. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton Athletic 2. Ipswich Town 1, Stockport County 0. Manchester City 2, Grimsby Town 1. Nottingham Forest 1, Birmingham City 0. Portsmouth 1, Blackburn Rovers 2. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Crewe Alexandra 0. Sheffield United against Fulham, that's a late one. Tranmere Rovers 3, Swindon Town 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Norwich City 0. League Division 2, Bournemouth 1, Wrexham 0. Bristol City 0, Luton Town 0. Burnley 3, Oxford United 2. Cambridge United 0, Cardiff City 0. Chesterfield's match with Bury postponed, and Millwall's with Brentford is a late result. Preston North End 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Reading 0, Notts County 0. Scunthorpe United 1, Blackpool 0. Stoke City against Oldham Athletic, another late one. Wigan Athletic 2, Gillingham 0. League Division 3, Barnet 0, Halifax Town 1. Chester City 1, Leyton Orient 5. Exeter City 2, Peterborough United 2. Hull City 2, Mansfield Town 0. Lincoln City 1, Hartlepool United 2. Macclesfield Town against Carlisle United, that's a late one. Northampton Town 0, Darlington 3. Rochdale 2, Shrewsbury Town 1. Rotherham United 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 3. Swansea City 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. Torquay United 0, Southend United 1. York City 1, Cheltenham Town 2.
Now, late kickoffs today in the Nationwide League. Sheffield United 2, Fulham 0. That's a result now. The latest late kickoffs, because of a variety of reasons, it's Millwall 1, Brentford 2 in Division 2. That game kicked off at 10 past 3. Stoke against Oldham. The Oldham team coach was held up because of a road traffic accident. That one didn't kick off till 3:45, so that is the latest. In Division 3, Macclesfield against Carlisle United. That didn't kick off till 3:15 because of crowd congestion. Now, let's take a look at the FA Carling Premiership. Let's see what's happening at the top as we come towards the end of the year. Leeds still top despite that defeat at Highbury, but they'll slip to second if Manchester United win at Sunderland this evening. Arsenal right back in contention. They move up to third for the time being, and Liverpool are fourth on goal difference after their win against Wimbledon at Anfield. Tottenham retains sixth spot because Leicester lost to Newcastle. Spurs visit Aston Villa tomorrow. Everton were held at Bradford. And at the bottom, Sheffield Wednesday cast adrift once again by that win for Watford against Southampton. The Hornets' first win for 3 months. Wednesday play Chelsea tomorrow. Derby make up the bottom three. They drew at West Ham, and Bradford also picked up a point at home to Everton. That defeat for Southampton leaves them 5 points adrift of the side above them. Wimbledon lost to Liverpool, overtaken by Newcastle. They won at Leicester. Coventry play Middlesbrough tomorrow. Now let's have a look at Division 1. Manchester City will see in the new year as the First Division's top club. Kevin Horlock's second goal in the 90th minute sees the Main Road club go 4 points clear. Huddersfield lost to Charlton, but the Yorkshire side are still second. Ipswich consolidated their fourth place, ending Stockport's good run of results, and Barnsley's win at struggling Port Vale sees the top 5 moving away from the chasing pack. Swindon's defeat by Tranmere sees them rooted to the bottom. The bottom 4 all lost today, and a gap has now opened up. Walsall went down to Crystal Palace, and Portsmouth lost to Tony Park's informed Blackburn Rovers. Grimsby lost to the leaders Manchester City. Marlon Harwood's 81st minute goal for Forest sees them move up to 17th place. In Division 2, Wigan remain the only unbeaten club in the country. Alan McLaughlin's first minute goal helping the Latics to 23 matches without loss. Today's victory was at the expense of 6th place Gillingham. Preston moved back up into 2nd place after beating this morning's second club Bristol Rovers. Burnley bounced back from their Boxing Day defeat at the hands of Bury to beat Oxford United at Turf Moor. And Chesterfield stay bottom. Their game against Bury was postponed today. Cambridge's match against Cardiff was full of incident. Cardiff finished the game with 8 men. Blackpool lost to Emmanuel Omenyimni's strike for Scunthorpe. Omenyimni on loan from West Ham, of course. And let's take a look at Division 3. The top 2 both lost at home today. Barnet to Halifax and Rotherham to Brighton. Swansea took the opportunity to close the gap. They beat Plymouth, while Darlington also moved into contention after their win at Northampton. Hartlepool moved up to 5th. They won at Lincoln. The battle of the bottom 2 at the Diva Stadium went Leyton Orient's way. They climb off the bottom at the expense of Chester. Carlisle's match in Macclesfield was a late kick-off. That's a draw at the moment. Shrewsbury still in trouble. They lost at Rochdale, while York were beaten at home by Cheltenham. Now, match of the day tonight, all the FA Premiership highlights. Arsenal against Leeds, the main game. It's 10:30, but we will see all the goals, all the incidents, all the saves. That's tonight. Hope you'll join Gary and the team. Now, the cricket. England in control of the 3rd test in Durban after forcing South Africa to follow on. Let's get a match report from Jonathan Agnew.
The day began in farce, a broken-down roller causing 6 overs to be lost, and ended surprisingly with England wonderfully placed to level the series. Andy Caddick, who finished with 7 for 46, reduced South Africa to 24 for 3, all through catches by Stewart. Goff then nipped out Cullinan for 20 to bring in Klusner with a score on 57 for 4. He clubbed 15, but Maddie snapped him up at short leg off Tufnell, and Caddick then took 3 in an over to reduce South Africa to 84 for 8, 83 runs away from avoiding the follow-on. Pollock then launched a remarkable counter-attack, making 64 as he and Adams put on 70 for the 9th wicket. With only 13 runs needed to avoid the follow-on, Pollock dragged Caddick into his stumps, and Goff finished it when Adams drove him to mid-on. Kirsten and Gibbs knocked off a further 27 runs before bad light stopped play.
More cricket news. Sachin Tendulkar's 22nd Test century saved India from having to follow on in Melbourne. Deputy pace bowler Brett Lee took 5 wickets for 44, including 3 wickets in and over, to reduce the tourists to 169 for 8. But Tendulkar guided India to the follow-on target before he fell to the bowling of Damien Fleming. Earlier in the day, Australia added 73 runs to their overnight total of 332 for 5. More cricket news. It's been another bad day for the West Indies. Brian Lara scored 67 but couldn't prevent his side slipping from 141 for 4 to 179 all out. That's in reply to New Zealand's massive 518 for 9 declared. West Indies forced to follow on, and at close of play the West Indies were 2 without loss. New Zealand already lead the 2-test series 1-0. Now back to the FA Carling Premiership. Great win for Arsenal this afternoon at Highbury against the league leaders Leeds. Let's hear from the Arsenal best Arsene Wenger with Barry Davis.
Arsene, I take it after that Arsenal are back in the Championship.
It's too early to say. I think we had a good performance. Today looked always dangerous. We're really committed and wanted really to win the game, because we were in a psychological difficult situation before the game. We couldn't afford to drop points today, and at least we are closer to Leeds, but still very far from Man United. But I think we need to win a big game in the Championship to believe that we can close the gap again.
How difficult was the team selection?
Very difficult, because I have 20 good players, and when you play 2 games in 48 hours, of course you have to give a chance to some players who are good to play as well. So I didn't drop players like I've heard. I just thought that with the quality of players I had who don't play, if I don't play them in 2 games in 48 hours, I never will play them.
And from them you got a comprehensive victory, didn't you?
Yes, we had a good victory, because that shows as well that the spirit is good in the side, and but everybody fights for everybody. And in fairness, the whole team today did very well.
Arsene, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now let's just check on the late games this afternoon, the late kickoffs. In Division 2, Millwall 3, Brentford 2. That's the result now. Millwall have come back to win that game. 2 late goals for Millwall today. It's still 0-0 Stoke against Oldham. It's the result, Macclesfield 2, Carlisle United 1. That's just about it. Match of the day this evening, 10:30 on BBC One. You'll see all the goals, all the saves and all the incidents from today's games. I can tell you that the Arsenal-Leeds game was an absolute cracker. Goals from Frederick Lundberg and Thierry Henry give Arsenal the victory. But that means that if Manchester United can win this evening, they go back to the top of the table. Thanks for your company. We'll be back with Match of the Day, and on January the 3rd, that's it. Goodbye.